there's a legend about Blackwater Lake that every seasoned camper has heard. Linger near the water at night, and you might never return. They say a figure stands just beneath the surface, watching, waiting, longing. What would an innocent group of friends discover when they decide to camp at the lake to see if the legend is real or not? Welcome to Tales by the Fire. Tonight, the fire's glow keeps the dark at bay as the wind whispers its secrets. It's the perfect night for a story. A group of friends, Jake, Mia, Alex, and Lily, had always mocked and doubted ghost stories and were sure that, same as what we know from Scooby-Doo, every mystery turns out to be not mystery. Eager to debunk the local legends of a vengeful spirit haunting Blackwater Lake, they planned a weekend camping trip to face their doubts and prove there was nothing to fear. But by the time the sun had set, they have set up their tents, cooked some steaks, and opened a few cans of beer. The fire crackled as the four friends sat around it, their faces illuminated by the soft, flickering glow. The lake shimmered nearby, its surface unnaturally still under the moonlight, as if frozen in time, amplifying an eerie silence that seemed to press against the ears. "This place gives me the creeps," Lily admitted, her voice breaking the silence. "Oh, come on," Jake teased. "Don't tell me you actually believe that old story." "It's not about believing," Alex said, poking the fire with a stick. "It's about respecting what you don't understand. My grandmother used to say the lake is cursed because of something terrible that happened here." "What happened?" Mia asked, leaning closer. Alex shrugged. "She never said. Just that the water remembers, and it doesn't like people getting too close." Mia raised an eyebrow. "The legend says of the man who drowned his wife in the lake because she cheated on him?" She paused, a wry smile on her lips. "They say her spirit never left, and her spirit wanders the deep waters of the lake." Jake smirked. "Well, lucky for me, I'm not cheating on anyone." His girlfriend, Mia, gave him a playful but pointed look, but her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. She shifted slightly, crossing her arms as if to shield herself from a chill. There was a flicker of something in her gaze, unease, or perhaps doubt, that lingered just a moment too long before she forced a laugh. The conversation drifted to lighter topics, and for a moment, the group's tension eased. Jake stood and stretched. "Well, I'm getting some water," he said, grabbing an empty bottle. "Be careful," Lily called after him, her voice half joking. Jake wandered to the water's edge, the soft crunch of leaves underfoot the only sound breaking the stillness. The moon cast a silver sheen on the lake, making the surface glisten like polished glass. A faint earthy smell of damp moss and decayed leaves hung in the air, mingling with the faint, metallic tang of the water. As he crouched to fill the bottle, the unnatural stillness of the lake struck him. Even as he dipped the bottle into the lake, the surface remained eerily motionless, unbroken by even the faintest ripple. A sudden chill prickled along his spine, sending a wave of unease through him. The water wasn't moving. Not a single ripple disturbed the surface. Even as he dipped the bottle in, a chill ran down his spine. He glanced back at the others by the fire and called out, "Hey, this lake is seriously weird. It's like glass." "Don't stare too long," Alex joked and laughed mockingly. Jake turned back to the water and froze. A figure was standing there, just beneath the surface. Its eyes were wide, unblinking, and fixed on him. The face was pale, almost luminous, with a mouth that stretched too wide, as though it were trying to scream but couldn't. He stumbled back, dropping the bottle. The figure didn't move, but seemed to lean closer, its gaze piercing. Jake scrambled back to the fire, his face pale. "There's something in the lake," he gasped. The others looked at him, confused. "What are you talking about?" Mia asked. "I'm serious," Jake said, his voice rising. "There's someone out there, standing in the water. It looked right at me." Before anyone could respond, a faint ripple broke the lake's surface. Then another. The group turned to look, the fire casting long shadows across their faces. The figure began to rise. Slowly, unnaturally, it emerged from the lake. Water clung to its distorted form as it stepped onto the shore. Its eyes never wavered from Jake. Mia screamed. "Jake, what did you do?" "I didn't do anything," he yelled, backing away. But the figure moved closer, its translucent hand outstretched. "Run!" Alex shouted, grabbing Lily's arm. They started running towards the woods in panic. Jake glanced back once, and the figure was still there. The spirit lunged at Jake, dragging him toward the water. Mia's scream echoed as she tried to pull him back, but the spirit's grip was relentless. The last thing Jake saw before he was pulled under was the pale, vengeful face, its eyes burning with unspoken rage. Its mouth twisted in a silent scream that seemed to echo in his mind. A cold, unforgiving grasp pulled him down into the darkness, leaving only ripples to mark his disappearance. The group didn't stop running until they reached their car, their breaths ragged and faces pale with terror. Their eyes darted nervously as if the darkness itself might spring to life, and their silence was pierced only by the uneven rhythm of their gasps. Fear clung to them like a shroud, unshakable and suffocating, as the weight of what they had witnessed refused to loosen its grip. They sat in silence, the weight of what they had witnessed pressing down on them like a suffocating fog. The once lively camaraderie was replaced by a hollow, shared understanding that none dared to voice. They never spoke of what happened that night again, but each carried the memory in their own way. Mia especially, haunted by the look in Jake's eyes as he was pulled under. None of them ever returned to Blackwater Lake. Mia was left with unanswered questions, haunted by the legend she had mocked. Have you ever felt like you were being watched in a place that should have been empty? Share your story in the comments below. And remember, some legends might be true. Water has always been a powerful symbol in folklore, often representing the unknown and the unresolved. At Blackwater Lake, it becomes a vessel for human tragedy, reflecting the pain and betrayal embedded in its depths, forever intertwined with the legend of the vengeful spirit. In many cultures, bodies of water are not just seen as portals or dwellings for spirits, but as mirrors of human emotion and history. At Blackwater Lake, the legend serves as a reminder of how betrayal and unaddressed anguish can echo through time, taking on a life of their own. Stories of vengeful spirits tied to water, like the one at Blackwater Lake, warn us of the consequences of betrayal and the power of unresolved rage. And if you enjoyed this story, like, share, and subscribe to keep the fire burning. There are more tales waiting to be told. Thank you for joining us tonight at Tales by the Fire. Until next time, if you dare.